Well, hey guys, welcome back. I am the composting worm lady. On my other channel, I'm the garden and worm lady. So I want to show you. These are all my towers. Besides my worm business on my other YouTube channel, this is my personal composting towers that are like my pets. So I'm gonna show you. Okay, let's see. Here I have a mix of 4 African nightcrawlers, Euros, red wigglers, and Louisiana swamp worms. Here I have worms coming this week to go in there. I'm gonna set up that bin this week. Here I have red wigglers, Acinia fetida. Here I have European nightcrawlers, and here I have the Louisiana swamp worms. I love towers of all kinds. I've been raising worms 21 years now. And this guy here was one of my first worm towers. I got the worm factory, and I don't know, I just love it. I love the towers. I love the way they function. I love the way they look. They're just so easy to work with. So today we're gonna check on the Louisiana swamp worms because I think I might have given them a lot of food. So we're gonna check at them. We're gonna mix up their bedding, and we're gonna just peek and see how they're doing. So worm composting, when I'm not breeding them, these are my pets. I do play with my worms like almost every day. I do mess with their bedding. I mix it because I just like to see what they're doing, their behavior, and I like to see how their food is going. All right, guys, I switched this to 4K so you can see a little better. So these are Louisiana swamp worms, and they come from the south. Now, I feed my composting worms food scraps from my kitchen because I cook every day. I also give them worm chow occasionally. But right now, I just want to see what these guys are doing. So I always put wet newspaper on the top. This is just shredded cardboard. Now my breeders, I don't mix like this, but my composting worms, I do. So the Louisiana swamp worm is the cousin of the red wiggler, and they look very similar, except these guys are like darker, they're like a darker red. And from what I can see, they have a lot of castings in here. That's just castings. Look at them. But they're nice looking worms. They really are. And their little clitellum bulges out just like a red wiggler. Except they're that maroon color, So as you can see, they're doing a really good job on this. I have a bag in here. I was just curious to see if they would eat it. But normally they would. But they're taking forever. But you know what? There's obviously babies in here like this, young ones, so they're doing something in here. So I'm just gonna leave the bag. Right now, I'll just move it aside. So these worms here, I'm not as particular about them that I am with my breeders, obviously. But I do mess around with them a lot, and I do play with them every day, only because, like I said, I just want to see what they're doing. Look at the clitellum. So their bedding is shredded cardboard. I have shredded newspaper. Any type of bedding I ever put in a composting worm bin or a breeder bin has to be moist. It has to be. Moisture is the life of a worm, guys. If you don't have moisture, they're gonna die. Look at those castings are like, they're really nice. And they're working through this really well, but as you can see, they still have a lot to go. Wow, look at that one. That was a big one. They're nice. So I'm just giving this a mix, and every food scrap I put in here this week has just like disappeared. Look at that. So this was what? Oh, this was a this was a plantain I put in here. I kind of forgot about it. Plantain is like another type of banana. And my composting worms, guys, they eat everything from onions, garlic. You know, I put orange peels in here. Anything I eat, they eat. But obviously, with citrus, you have to just be careful and do it in moderation. They're doing well. So worms, when you raise them in towers like this, they do an excellent job composting for you. What I did notice is when I put adult worms in a bin like this, like let's say a European nightcrawler, in time, they shrink. I think it's their worms self-regulate their population. So I think that's what it is, but they do shrink. Look at that little guy. But you know, just because they shrink doesn't mean they're doing a bad job. That's just what they do. So don't be surprised if you shrink. Don't think, oh, there's something wrong with them. No, they're not. Then you'll start seeing cocoons and a million babies. So this bedding, look, see, look, that was red cabbage. You're gonna notice that some things, they take longer to eat. Like this was an avocado peel. Avocados, potato peels, those kind of things, they just take forever. Let me go get them some food scraps, even though this is part of the avocado. Another thing you'll notice with a composting worm bin is I never smell anything. Look at the size of this avocado seed, guys. I'm leaving it in here to see if it sprouts. If this sprouts, I'm gonna see if I could plant it. I mean, I know I'm in Indiana and it'll never grow outside, but it'd be cool to see it. So let me just put it in there. And I'm gonna go in this corner and let's see what we have this week. We have, well, we have something here that I'm not sure if they'll eat, but I'm gonna try. So I do a lot of knitting and crocheting. I have another YouTube channel called The Knitted Gift Company, and I always have these little scraps of yarn. Let's see what happens. Let's see if they'll eat it in time. I have banana. More banana with strawberries. That's just a wet paper towel. And for my grit, I eat a lot of eggs. And honestly, I didn't feel like getting my pulverizer out. So this is how I started years ago. I didn't have a grinder. So I just crushed it by hand. And my worms did fine. I'm not gonna put them all because I want to save some eggs for the other ones. Yeah, they did fine. The only thing with eggs is, guys, you have to rinse them and then microwave them for a minute because that will kill any bacteria, salmonella, anything that isn't good. So since this paper towel is going in here dry and I have the yarn, I'm gonna cover this, but I'm gonna go get some water. And we are going to water this down. Yeah, definitely need some water. Now, normally I have a spray bottle of water, but my little spray thing broke, so I gotta get a new one. So I'm just gonna pour some water on top. And this will help keep everything moist, everyone happy, especially like this corner where I put the food. So you know what, to remember where we put food, I'm gonna take one of the eggshells and I'm just gonna put it there. And that way we'll know. I'm gonna give them back their bag because I did see some worms on there. And I'm gonna cover this back up. You know, Louisiana swamp worms, they're a fun little worm. Some people call them swampers. I absolutely love them. I do sell them sometimes, but I don't have them here in my wormery. I have someone who's actually a supplier that will send them for me. But right now, I think he's out. So let's just cover this. So we're gonna keep an eye on the Louisiana swamp worms. And in the next video, I'll show you some of my other worms. Maybe I'll set up a European nightcrawler tray with you over here. And that way you can see how it's done. And I'll probably post that on my other channel too. All right, guys. So if you enjoyed this content, like and subscribe. And check out my other channel, The Composting Worm Lady. And I will see you next time. Take care.